Welcome to the Undercurrent, your source for grassroots news. I'm Lauren Windsor. Here's the latest from Brendan Fisher on Scott Walker in Wisconsin.
Scott Walker thinks women will clog up the legal system if they're allowed to sue over pay discrimination. But he also thinks that men should be given the right to sue if a woman exercises control over her own body. Back in 2012, Walker repealed Wisconsin's Equal Pay Enforcement Act. This was a law that allowed women to bring a lawsuit if they were the victim of wage discrimination. Now, this is really a big issue in Wisconsin. Women earn just 78 cents for every dollar a man makes. The state senator who pushed the law's repeal said the gender wage gap could be explained because money is more important for men. So Walker came under a lot of fire for repealing this law, but he replied with a campaign ad saying, no, we're not opposed to equal pay, we're opposed to creating new opportunities for bringing lawsuits, even though no employer had ever been sued under the law. And Walker's position on creating new opportunities for lawsuits is why his latest move on abortion is so astounding. Walker's made headlines recently because he's planning to sign a ban on all abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. But what has gone less noticed is that this same anti-choice bill also creates more opportunities to sue if you're a dude and you disapprove of a woman's choice to have an abortion. This anti-abortion bill is really extreme. It has no exception for rape, no exception for incest, and it allows a father to sue an abortion doctor if he disagrees with the woman's decision to end her pregnancy outside of the 20-week period, claiming that a woman exercising control over her own body caused him emotional and psychological distress. This is crazy. Back to you, Lauren.
I caught up with Shaunna Thomas, the co-founder of women's rights organization Ultraviolet, to talk about Scott Walker and the war on women. You know, Republicans would argue that the war on women is a rhetorical device used to divide Americans. But there are real, tangible effects on women. And, you know, leading a women's rights organization, what do you see those effects being out across the country?
The war on women as a phrase may seem rhetorical, but the reality is that there are very real policies that are being supported and in some cases passed legislation at the state level that has had an enormously negative impact on women's lives. In some cases, that's proactive legislation literally designed to make it harder for women to live happy, healthy, fulfilling lives, like making it almost impossible for women in certain states to get abortions within their own state lines, making it wholly unaffordable. On the part of corporations to limit women's ability to get access to the kind of birth control that they need. And then there are all of the pieces of policy that actually we desperately need in place in order for true equality to be possible. Things like legislation that guarantees that women can earn the same amount of money as men for the same amount of work. The fact that so many legislators, both at the state and the federal level, particularly Republican legislators, which is typically the case, are standing in the way of that kind of legislation, making it to a floor, passing so that women can fully realize this dream of equality, is unconscionable. It is completely out of step with what people want our decision makers to be doing. And ultimately, their sort of united effort to undermine women's ability to achieve full equality has felt like a war on women for women, and for the men who care deeply about these issues as well, which, as it turns out, is the majority of men in this country.
We're coming up on 2016. Like, is this a winning strategy for the Republicans? Do you think they can take the White House? Walker, in particular, can he take the White House having done these things when women make up such a huge part of the rising American electorate?
I mean, it is really hard to keep a straight face, I would think, on the part of anyone in the Republican Party and say that Republican has a chance to be president of the United States and hold the kinds of positions that Scott Walker does. The idea that you can claim that women aren't concerned about pregnancy after 20 weeks if they've been raped, the idea that women trying to earn equal pay is literally happening only at the cost of men earning what they deserve to earn for what they make, is just not a tenable position. It's so wildly out of step. If it's the case that women's issues factor as prominently as we expect them to in this election, the positions that people like Scott Walker hold, who are very serious candidates at this point, does not bode well for the Republican Party.
Make sure to subscribe to the Undercurrent on YouTube for more Uncovered, a collaboration with the Center for Media and Democracy. I'm Lauren Windsor. Thanks for watching. Get pulled in to the Undercurrent.